clip of me walking to see my custom order M4 competition that's an all-wheel drive and a convertible for the first time after 8 months of waiting. I ordered this in October of 2021, and this is my first time seeing it and picking it up at the age of 26, which is absolutely insane. Like if you would have told me like just 3 years before that I would be doing something like that, I would have literally called you crazy. I did not have a big following. I do not come from money. I came here to America with my mom and my stepdad when I was 13 years old, almost 14. Didn't speak any English. My parents and I brought one bag each, like literally one bag each. We lost our house, our car, everything in Hungary. My mom had to clean houses for 7 years. My dad works as a security guard in like a tower. My mom now is a nanny. So I do not come from money. Okay. There's a lot that I have to provide for. And I want to tell you the story of how I got here, because if you are someone who feels like this never going to happen for you, like you have these big goals, you have these big dreams, but there's no way it's ever going to happen for you because you weren't dealt the cards in life, I fully get it. I'm literally a community college dropout. So if I can do it, anyone can do it. The one thing, again, there's not just one thing, there's a ton of things, and I'm leaving the best for last, but the main thing that you have to have in order to achieve any of this before you continue watching the video is winner's mindset. Like you have to be willing to work freaking hard. You have to be willing to have that like Olympic champion winning mindset. And all it is just the belief in your head. So I want to fast forward. I want to go back and kind of give you a background about where I come from. So at 19 years old, I moved to New Jersey. I shook hands on a job to be a sales rep in New York City for a coconut water company that was a startup. It fell through. I still moved. Then I had to work in front desk of LA Fitness and Kids Club of LA Fitness. So that's how I got in the gym scene. I was also competing at the time. So I like really fell in love with fitness. But I couldn't do it. Like I stayed for 6 months in Jersey, and then after that it totally broke me, and I was like, oh my, I can't. I couldn't pay my rent, could not do the living there. So I moved back home with my parents when I was 21. And my mom said that the only way I can move back is if I go back to school full time. And I was like, oh my gosh, like screw this. I freaking hate school. Like it's not for me. Like I'm so dumb. I literally fail every test. Like I pretty much failed the SATs, the ACTs. Like it was really hard for me. Plus English is my second language. And so I always felt really self-conscious in school. I was the person that needed math tutors. Like I did not do well in school. But the one thing I really wanted to do at the time was to compete. Okay, I wanted to compete in bodybuilding. I fell in love with bodybuilding. I'm a skier from the beginning. I used to compete. I used to have this dream of going to the Olympics and skiing. That's what I thought when I was like, 6 to 14 years old. I thought that was going to be my future. Gave that up to come to America. And then I found bodybuilding. It was just as intense and fell in love with it. And so I was like, okay, if I'm going to be going to school full time, and literally my mom made me do that in order to like move back home, but I really want to compete, I'm going to have to like figure out a way to make money without having a job because I'm not going to have time to have a job. And so this is like 2014, 2015, 2014, Instagram is starting to bloom. People are making money on Instagram, but like, I don't know anything about this. Like literally, I don't know jack about this stuff. So one of the girls that I was following at the time, she was a fitness influencer, and her coach was actually my coach's coach. And so she made this post on Instagram. She kept getting like supplements in the mail, and she was like, I get to change lives for a living. It just, I don't know, it spoke to me. And I was like, I want to change lives for a living. Like, I love fitness. I love bodybuilding. I see like opportunity everywhere around me because I come from Europe. Okay, very different life. And I'm like, whatever she's doing, like, I want to do it. It looks like she's getting supplements all the time. Like, I want to get supplements all the time. So I reached out to her. She ended up putting me on the phone with someone else. It wasn't MLM. Okay. It was Advocare, which I got in there and I didn't make much money with it, but that was my first time getting introduced to a whole different world, to a whole different way of making money. Like I went to, I think, 3 events. and I watched people speak on stage, and I was like, oh my gosh, like if these people can do it, so can I. But I wasn't really aligning with like the direct sales world. Like it was just, I wasn't, my heart wasn't in it. And if my heart is not in it, I can't do it. I did make $2,000 one month, like by recruiting a ton of people, because that's really like how you made money in MLMs, is like getting a lot of people to like sign up with big packages. So this is a total honest thing with you guys. I signed up a bunch of people with like a $2,000 package. Like I made them spend $2,000 on supplements with the hope that, they bought it at a 40% discount. So now they're going to be able to like sell it out of the trunk of their cars for triple the price, which never happened, right? Like someone coming into this and like buying $2,000, like $3,000 worth of supplements. And it's like, yeah, pay in, like buy $2,000, you're at a 40% discount and you'll immediately make $1,000. But like, how? Who's going to teach you how to sell it? Anyways, I felt really guilty, felt really bad. I kind of walked away from that like structure because I was like, it's not aligning with it. And come 2019, by this time I got married, which I'm going to talk so much more about. It's not for the right reasons. Had a child, and I kind of realized I was stuck. I was really stuck in a relationship and I needed to figure something out at this point. So this is 2019, 4 years later. I'm still not making much money. The most amount I've ever made in a month was like $4,000. I'm starting my videography business. I'm shooting luxury weddings. I did bring my prices up to $6,500 for a wedding video, which I absolutely loved. But again, I spent 100 hours editing a wedding video. So imagine like, yeah, I get $6,500 for like what, 6 months of work? That's insane. So I got burnt out super fast. I was still running my online coaching business, which is kind of what I ran on the side or what I've been doing for like the last 10 years. But I always got burnt out with that as well because it just didn't pay the bills. Like online coaching is great, but if you don't know how to scale it and have coaches under you, and like that doesn't make any sense because I want to coach people myself. So like I'm not doing it for money. I'm doing it because I want to change lives, right? Got burnt out because it didn't pay the bills, and I constantly had to look for like the next person to sign up for coaching. It was again, I didn't want to make my money that way because people didn't become people that I wanted to help and like see change in. Again, this is my personal experience, is what I'm telling you guys. It just became like a number, right? Like every person that signed up became a number. And so I got turned off by that too. So it's 2019, right? 4 years later, I'm into shooting weddings. I have this online business on the side. I've got a 1-year-old, and I'm like, I was barely making it. So I think I mentioned to you guys, if you've been following me for a while, you know this story. But when I first moved to Colorado, which was 2017, couldn't afford to buy an air mattress from Walmart. So we slept on the ground for 2 weeks on blankets, found out I was pregnant. So my ex's sister bought us a bed from Amazon. Okay, so not in a good place. Now we're living in Telluride, still super broke, doing all these things, can't afford to live there, can't afford to keep the family up, and I was pretty much the only one providing. Again, more on this later. So I made the decision to move back to Ohio from Colorado, which is my freaking dream, just to have a little bit more time to work because my mom is a full-time nanny. So she nannies 2 kids. She's been doing it for like 8 years, which is crazy. And moved back with her with a 1-year-old. Okay. And we did not have a good relationship at the time. Like this is very dark times. And I'm living in that house. It's very toxic every day. Like, I don't know if you've ever experienced like toxicity at home where like literally I would get like stomach ulcers just from stress, like just from being in this environment. So I knew that if I don't find something and start making money like immediately, like basically from my phone, because I have a 1-year-old and my mom is a nanny, she was not allowed to like hang out with my daughter much. So it totally backfired. But I knew I had to find something online. So I'm like, well, I'm going to go back to Advocare because it's the only thing that I knew that is remote, that I can make a lot of money with. That's the MLM that I joined like in 2015. Guess what happens? The company, like Advocare, you guys can Google this shit, literally got sued for like $300 million one day to the next. And I started working and I worked it for like a month. Okay. I went all in. I'm like, I'm going to go all in on this thing and like see where I can take it because I'm so desperate. Like I'm literally living at home with my mom and my husband and a 1 year old and a Great Dane. Okay. Like, and I'm like stressed out to the max every single day. And I'm not even living in my dream place, right? I'm back in Ohio. Like, what am I doing? This is 2019. And so the reason I'm telling you this is so you understand that you don't have to be smart. You don't have to graduate from college with all these degrees. You don't have to like have all of these things going for you. What you have to have is like a really freaking strong why. Like you have to have something driving you every single day. Okay, there's this analogy of, I think Alex Hormozy talks about this, if you guys know who he is, where there's a mouse and there's a cheese in front of the mouse. But that's not enough to just have the cheese. You know, it's not enough motivator. It'll go after the cheese, but not as fast and not with as much effort as if there was also a cat chasing him from behind. So if you really want to succeed in life, if you really want to like achieve something big, you've got to have that cheese in front of you, you know, like whatever it is, the better life, moving to a different state, the car, I don't know, like the stupid cheese. What's your stupid cheese hanging in front of you that's going to drive you to go? But also you got to have that cat chasing you from behind, the pain, the what happens if I don't do it. Sorry about the black paint on my head. I was just painting my gym. But I had that, right? I had like I need to move back to Colorado. I need to get out of this situation. I need money. I need money coming in because my partner's not supporting me and I have to figure out how I'm going to support myself and my freaking 1 year old and my dog now. And also from behind me, right? It's like, if I don't do it, I'm literally like, what's going to happen? Am I going to like stay living with my mom like I was 24, 25 years old? Like, are you kidding me right now? So Advocare falls apart. One day to the next, get sued. All of our incomes to get taken away, which mine was like $500 at the time because I just did it for like a month. And, you know, going back to the beginning of what I said, how I knew that it wasn't aligning with me, I knew this, right? So like even going back into it again, I'm like, I knew that this is not my path and this is not what I'm meant to do. And that was just a stamp on it. And I was like, I'm never doing an MLM again. They got sued because of a corrupt system. So I had the right intuition. So another big thing here is always listen to your intuition. Okay. Now at this point, again, with everything in mind, I'm not gonna, this is not like a freaking life story for you guys. What I'm telling you is how you can buy your dream sports car or move wherever you want to or have that time and financial freedom from affiliate marketing. So this is 2019, right before COVID. Now things are easy. Now it's so easy to make money on social media. Like it's ridiculous. If you're not making money on social media, like you're making excuses. I'm like just flat on being honest with you. I had a girlfriend at this time who was running this social media academy. She had 90,000 followers. I had like 10,000 followers from like 5 years before when I was doing my fitness thing, but it was a dead account. Like at one point I switched it to videography, lost all my followers. Like it was not an account that was growing at all. So she was charging $5,000 for this social media academy where she was teaching people how to sell their products, or if they were working with affiliate marketing, through their stories, right? So it was all through stories. And she's a really good friend of mine. And she called me one day and she was like, Elise, I found something. Like I found this opportunity. I'm like, don't even say opportunity. Like, you're going to come at me with this? Like after everything that happened, like, don't say you found an opportunity. You know what I mean? Like, people slide into your DMs, like I found an opportunity. You're like rolling your eyes. Like, are you serious right now? But I was in a desperate place, and which I'm like so damn grateful that I was in a desperate place and I was willing to look at anything, because being willing to look at anything is, you're going to need that, because you never know what your gold mine is. It's going to be different for everyone. There's not one thing out there that's going to be the perfect thing. Okay.
Maybe you're amazing at like selling digital products, right? Like that whole master resale rights or whatever that's going, which I think is kind of scammy, but not going to get into that. Maybe you're amazing at affiliate marketing. Maybe you are selling your own product, whatever it is online, like you can be amazing at different things. So I was open-minded and I was like, tell me about this. And she's like, it's affiliate marketing, but you're able to bring in affiliates and make commission off of them. So it's a regular website like anything else. Anyone can go on the website. It's not direct sales, it's not MLM. So, you're good on that. I'm like, okay, I'm listening. And she's like, you just have a coupon code and you just sell through the stories. And I'm quitting my social media academy where I'm charging, like I'm making a lot of money, and I'm going full force with this, and I'm signing people into this because they can make 36% commission, which is unheard of. And I can make a 7% commission on their sales if I help them. Okay. There's no like buy-in. There's none of this like buy this big ass package at like 40% discount and then resell it from the trunk of your car. It's fully based on social media. It's affiliate marketing. It's created for influencers and to sell through your stories. And I'm like, okay, but like my story views are 200. And she's like, Elise, you need to get out. She knew where I was in life. And she's like, you need this. And honestly, guys, like I like that phone call, my intuition, my gut, she was like, pray about it. She literally told me, she's like, pray about it tonight and like we'll talk tomorrow. I knew, like I had a conversation with God that moment because I knew in my gut that I needed to do this. I can't explain this to you, right? But I'm going to tell you, go with your gut every time. And I said yes. And I signed up immediately. I think it cost like $39 a year at the time to like be a social marketer, affiliate marketer, and like get this coupon code. And so I start going down on this journey where I have no freaking clue what I'm doing. Like none. I've never sold product in my life, never promoted product. Again, I've promoted my own personal training business and my own videography, which is my services. I was very confident about me because I have been doing that. I've been like signing people up with me to either like shoot their dream wedding or to get their dream body. But to sell another company's product was really it was a mind fuck. It was really hard for me, especially with having 200 views on my stories. So I grinded. The first thing I did, because I was really struggling, my first month, I barely did $1,000 in sales, barely. Okay. So it didn't come easy, but this whole system motivated me to go ham with social media. And that's what I did. I started posting more. I started posting more on my stories. I just started sharing things, getting inspired, and like this new self-development journey that I was going on, I was just sharing it. I was getting back into fitness. I like just this whole thing. And I was like just telling people what I was using and what I was loving at the time. And I read Sell or Be Sold by Grant Cardone, changed my life. Then I re-listened to it. I would take Adeline on like stroller rides in Ohio and Bay Village, down the street, and listen to Sell or Be Sold 10 times like that summer. This was summer of 2019. Literally listened to that book 10 times in a row. If you want to get into sales and marketing, affiliate marketing, like this book, you have to read, okay? And again, from there, just to give you guys like a timeline, I went from barely doing $1,000 in sales in June of 2019 to then bringing on other people, like literally bringing on other affiliates, teaching them how to sell through their stories, and hitting my first $100,000 in sales a month in March of 2020. Okay. And you're like, okay, at least that's great. But you didn't give me anything. Like you just told me that you didn't know what you were doing. You like read this book and you did barely 1,000 in sales your first month. Here's the biggest thing I did. Are you ready? Because you're going to hate this. I didn't fucking give up. I just didn't give up. Most people, 90% of the people, the reason they don't succeed is because they give up within like 3 weeks. I've been doing this for the last 5 years. I've worked with a lot of people. And when I say give up, I don't just mean like walk away and like, I'm not doing this. No, you can stay. You'll stay for like 6 months. You'll stay for a year sometimes. But you give up on your actions. You stop putting in the action. You put it on the back burner. You treat it as a hobby. Barely. You don't even treat it as a hobby, honestly. You treat it as like going to the dentist. Okay? You put it off. You know you shouldn't, like, you know you should be doing it, but you keep putting it off every day. I didn't do that. I treated this thing as my job because I had no other option. I did not want to be living with my mom and my 1-year-old. Like, I was like, I'll do freaking anything. I'll take this to the top and just see what it takes. See if I can do it. Like, why give up? And I gave myself a year, but like a year of intentional hard work. And here's what this means. Every day you commit to being better than the day before. That's it. You don't need to do anything else. Do you know why? Because when you get started, you're going to suck. When you get started, one, you're not going to know how to prospect. You're not going to know how to talk to people once you prospect them. You're not going to know what to say to get them on a call with you. And you're not going to know what to say on a call once they're on a call with you. Okay. And if you are doing affiliate marketing or if you're doing sales in any type of way, you should be getting people on a call. Even if you're just selling a freaking, like, whatever, a bottle of collagen. I'm just going to say that, right? Because that's what I did for a long time. Get people on a call, practice talking. So I did a lot of recruiting, which is really what I loved because of my background in personal training and the videography, right? Because I was really good at services. And so I'm like, I can lean on this. I can recruit people. And if I have learned, so by month 3, I did $3,000 in sales, which with this affiliate marketing company, that's $1,000 in daily pay. So I got also paid daily. The moment someone used my coupon code, I would get paid within like 10 hours. It's crazy. Like, this is the best affiliate marketing system out there. And once you hit like 3,000 in sales, you get 30% commission, which is $900. So I went a little above that. By month 3, my daily pay was $1,000. And that was my goal at first. I was like, can I make $1,000 with this? If I can make $1,000, I guarantee you anyone I talk to online would kill to make $1,000, and I can just teach it to them and I'll feel confident about it. And that's what I did. It took me 3 months to make $3,000, like to do $3,000 in sales in 1 month. And then I recruited people. Anyone I talked to, first like 10 calls, half of them didn't show up. The other half lied to me that they signed up, literally. I was sucking in the beginning, like recruiting calls. Oh my gosh. Like, I was so bad and I didn't have a mentor. I didn't know what I was doing. Okay. So if you're like, well, I just can't recruit anyone or I can't get anyone to buy, it's because you're not putting the work in. Okay. I was doing at least 2 to 3 recruiting calls a day. And if you're like, how? Bro, talk to anyone and everyone. Okay. I went to the gym, dropped my daughter off at the kids club in LA Fitness, and I talked to everyone at the gym. And I'm like, who needs this? Because everybody needs health, wealth, or time. And I'm like, okay, I've got a thing where I can provide them with all 3, especially if they have like MLM PTSD. I don't know if maybe you have that. If you have MLM PTSD and you find something that's like so different and it works and like people are not going into debt and whatever, like, you can use that to your advantage. Like, find your advantage with it. What is your angle? You got to have an angle. Okay, you can't do it like your mentor Susie, because Susie has a different story. And so many people like get into things. I don't care what it is. There's literally a million ways of making money online now. So I don't care what it is, but you cannot just look to your mentor or your coach and just pretend that everything they say, that everything they do is going to work for you. And people are going to lie to you. And they're going to tell you that, yeah, if you just say what I say, if you just do what I do, like, you're going to make this money. But that's not freaking true, because every person has a different story. Every person has a different angle, and you have to have your own freaking story. And if you're leaning too much on your coach or on your mentor, it's because you're too lazy to do the work yourself. And I'm so grateful I didn't have a mentor. I'm so grateful that we all like got started on this thing like completely together, didn't have anyone to show the way, because I had to figure it out. And I was forced to be in this position where I had to get creative. And most people that got started at the same time quit because they were like, well, I have no one showing me what to do. I have no one telling me what to do. So I'm just going to blame it on my mentor. Or if you're an MLM, I'm going to blame it on my upline, whatever. If you're playing the blame game on your social media, on your engagement, on your spouse, on your kids, you don't have time, on your mentor, he's not leading you right or she's not leading you right, on your coach that you're paying to. I mean, like, if you're putting any blame on anyone outside of yourself, forget about it. you're not going to make any money. You have to take full responsibility for every single step in your business. And if you want to know how to go as fast as you can to the top, do it on your own. I freaking dare you. Do it on your own. Stop asking questions. This is going to be so like controversial too, for sure, to a lot of people. I didn't have anyone to ask questions to. So I had to figure it out. Commit first, figure out later. That's how you build a business. You won't know all the answers ever, like literally ever. And a lot of people ask me now, like, Elise, you made so much money with this. Like, you're still making so much money. You've got this residual thing going. Why aren't you building it larger? Like, why aren't you like, I don't know, whatever, building it to like the very top? And to be honest, is because I want to be challenged. And I spent the last like 5 years working with people, like, no offense, absolutely no offense, but I spent the last 5 years working with people that are trying to go from $0 to $500 a month. And I cannot relate to those people anymore. I lost interest. I stopped being like passionate about it, because I want to work with people that want to make at least $10,000 a month. I want to work with people that want to make $40,000 a month, because I know how to take you there. Those are the people I want to work with. And so that's why I actually like stopped building my business. And now I'm taking everything to social media and to YouTube. I want to give away all this advice for free, so that if you're one of those people who you're just trying to go from $0 to $500 with affiliate marketing or with an MLM or something that's not your own thing, then you can use this and I can teach you this for free, instead of having to be under someone else or hiring a business coach or whatever. Like, I got you. But who I really want to work with, like the one-on-one, are the people that want to make $40,000 a month or more. That's my ideal client. That's who I want to work with one-on-one. And the other thing is, I also wanted to see if I can take all of these things that I learned and put it into a brand new business, like my gym. And I'm extremely uncomfortable because I just got too comfortable. Like, I mean, again, once you get there, you will understand. But once you start making so much money that it, like, I don't know. Again, I was also young at this time. Like, I started making so much money at 26 years old. You don't know anything at 26. I didn't know how to, like, I didn't know anything, right? And it just became like meaningless and pointless. And I was like, again, if you ever get there, you'll understand this. But I wanted to be challenged, and I just got too comfortable. And I was like, I don't even have to work. Like, I've got so much residual income coming in. That's why I started skiing. Like, in 2021, I fully just like stopped working, and I just spent like 2021, 2022, then 23, I broke my leg. But 2021, 2022 fully didn't work. If you look back on my content, I literally skied every single day, got into the park, learned the park. I was like, what else am I going to do? Traveled all of 2022. I literally traveled, spent like a month out on the West Coast in Mammoth and Mount Hood, which is amazing. Like, I just lived a ski bum life, like full on ski bumming. That was my life, because I don't know, I'm just not that like luxury person. I don't care for the luxury bags. Like, even that Louis Vuitton bag that I told you guys the company sent me, I sold pretty immediately, because I'm like, this is a $4,000 bag, and like, I give zero shits. I ski every day and I work out every day. Like, and I live in the mountains. I live in mud and dirt, and that's what I care about. So I know this is becoming a lot longer of a video than I thought, but if you are in a place in your life where you're trying to grow from that beginning point, and you're trying to understand how to get to that next level, like maybe how to get to that $500 a month or just $1,000 a month with your side hustle. Okay, I'm just going to keep calling it a side hustle. You have to take responsibility, and you have to stop making bullshit excuses. Like, that's really what it is. Up until that point, the reason I didn't succeed with Advocare, whatever, all these things, is because I made excuses. It was always because of someone. And so when this opportunity came in my life, because I was in such a desperate place, and hopefully you can learn from this, so you don't have to be in a desperate place like me, you can make this decision. Like, I'm taking responsibility for everything. I'm not relying on anyone, not a coach, not a mentor. Again, I'm just telling you this if you are really trying to, make it to 10,000 a month fast. I went from, my first month I made $750. Second month was $1,500. Okay. But first month, $750, June of 2019 to March 2020, my first $10,000. Okay. A month. And then it just literally next month doubled. Okay. I'm not supposed to like say numbers. Maybe I am now, and it's YouTube. I don't know. But it just doubled from there. And how you do that is by not stopping. You don't freaking stop. You have to understand that these are seasons. If you're crying about work-life balance, like literally just go dig a hole and lie in it, because it's never going to happen for you. There's no such thing as balance in the beginning. There's no such thing. Like when you're building a business, when you're building something, you have to put 100% into it. You don't take a day. I actually took one day off of the week every Saturday. That was my Sabbath. So I took every single Saturday off and I just chilled with family, went on a hike, whatever. Didn't do any calls, but every other day, 6 days a week, I worked my ass off, morning to night, every single day. If I was on vacation, I haven't been on real vacation in like probably 5 years, except for like the Disney trip this last week, which was the most stressful one because my parents came. But up until that point, every trip I've gone to, like even spending a month in Mammoth or whatever, like all of those, actually that time I took work off, but I was still making stories and getting on Instagram, right? Like I'm still consistent about something. But while you're building your business, the key is to get into a place of momentum. That's it. You have to get into momentum. So how do you do this? You sell your first product and you ride off of that momentum. That's it. All you need to do is you need to sell one product, because now you know how to do that. Now you know how to sell one. If you know how to sell one, you can sell two. If you know how to sell two, you can sell three. And that's what you do. When you sell one, you don't freaking stop. You're like, who's the next person? Because if you don't immediately go and apply the knowledge into the next thing, the next person you sell, you're going to forget it. You're going to take a week off. I see this I cannot tell you guys how many people I've brought in, how many people I've mentored in affiliate marketing. And the biggest mistake that they make is that they think that selling one person or maybe two people is enough, and then they can take a week off or like take a whole weekend off. If you're serious about building a business, you cannot stop. You cannot stop until you build up something residual. If you stop, you literally waste your time. And you're going to find yourself in a place where you're constantly rebuilding your business. And you're like, why am I not making any money? Why am I constantly trying to go back to this place? Like maybe you made $2,000 once and you're like, why am I just constantly trying to get to that place of just making $2,000? It's because you keep stopping. It's because you're wishy-washy. It's because you're not committing. Okay, so for an entire year, you should be prepared to sell your soul if you want to make it. If you want to be able to get to a place where you can take 2 years off of work and literally live off of like thousands and thousands of dollars income and residual income from the work that you put in, you have to be willing to sell your soul. I didn't compete until my goal was to hit 100,000 in sales in a month from me and from team members that I brought in, right? Other affiliate marketers, because I made that 7% commission. I didn't actually get into prep until I was at 400,000 a month that my team was doing in sales, in product sales, not in anything else, just product sales. $400,000 a month on Instagram stories. And the reason it's so hard for you to fathom that number is because you keep stopping. That's why. You can't stop. Like, you think if I would have stopped after the first sale, I would have gotten to the second sale or no, because you have to keep learning. And the same thing with recruiting. If you want to get better at recruiting, you have to be able to take that first person, and if it's a win, you go out there and you get the next win, and you get the next win, and you get the next win, and you don't stop. You don't go on vacation. Take 1 day off the week. Take 1 day off. But, and I'm not saying like, okay, you have to start this out as like a full-time thing. I was training at the time, but you have to put full-time effort into this thing. If it's 3 hours a day, then you freaking commit to 3 hours a day and you stick with that. Commitment and getting into that momentum is what it actually takes. There's nothing else to it, because you will start getting wins. And if you're like, how are all these people making so much money? It's the same thing, just on a larger scale. Like, it's not any different. Yes, you're going to have to start leading people. You're going to have to start reading like leadership books, listen to John Maxwell, whatever, so that you know like how to lead people, how to teach them this stuff. That's important too.
but you keep going on this scale. You start small. You start with your first sale, with your first recruit, and then you double that. And then you just constantly learn from every single mistake that you made. You freaking got this. Stop doubting yourself and work your ass off.